my channel. I'm Shell Zenner, a music journalist based in Manchester. Things to shout about this week: the second Independence Day is due to take place on Wednesday the 29th and Thursday the 30th of July, and it's going virtual. Keep your eyes on the website Independent Venue Week, and you'll find out all the details there. I've been busy behind the scenes over the last few weeks, so sorry for the radio silence. You can catch up with my amazing radio shows online. BBC Introducing is back, and you can also catch up on the summer of live sessions I hosted for the Musicians Union on their Instagram account recently, on the feed at We Are The MU. Now, King Kai, Prima, Jack Curley and Eliza Shaddad were blinding. Brilliant live sets, make sure you check them. Now, each week I bring you 3 new awesome tunes to your ears. Zenner Zones are back. This week's picks are a fierce number from Sorzano, the smooth summer groove of Porij, and the party we all need in our life right now from Lynks Afrikka. I'll also be chatting to the awesome VC Pines shortly too, about Sean Scully, retro films and so much more. Let's jump right into Zenner Zones. First up, a Manchester rapper with a huge talent for lyricism and the catchiest hook ever. This is Sorzano's Dreaming. It got playlisted at 1Extra recently, and you can hear why.
I can't see a reason that I shouldn't go and kill it. Just give me a second, cause I need to go and bill it. Been a workaholic, man, I was just barely living. Moving like the Walking Dead, was shown upon these rhythms.
The second track this week is my summer jam. Sit back, grab a cocktail, and imagine watching the sunset at Cafe Mambo as Porij are back with 150.
Tell me where you want me for.
Final pick is the party we've all been waiting for, described as a deodorant deity or antiperspirant perfection. Lynks Afrikka have been tipped by Elton John and a host of others. Their debut EP Smash Hits Volume 1 is out now, and believe me, it's a must listen. This is how to be successful.
Now on with the show.
Quirky, a full-on blast. Lynks Afrikka, get your ears around the EP, it's an absolute beast. Now remember, if you like what you see, don't forget to click subscribe and the bell below, which will notify you when there is a new episode. It's time for this week's feature interview. You want to go behind the scenes with VC Pines, right? Let's hear about his brand new EP, which is gorgeous, his musical motivations, and how he's faring in lockdown.
I know it's hard.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm alright. Yeah, trying to stay sane, trying to stay busy. How about yourself?
I am definitely happier for hearing your EP though. Are you pretty excited it's out there now?
Yeah, like I was sitting on it for quite a while and just making sure that like everything was tied up together nicely with the release and stuff like that. So it feels really nice to finally have it out, and people seem to be liking it. So which feels nice. Yeah.
What can you tell us about those tracks?
The 2 singles were Cracks and Bluebirds. So I wrote Cracks with Max Hellier from Uni at 6. He came to one of my shows last year, and we just got on really well and decided like let's get in the studio. So we did, and Cracks came out, which was great. We did that at Newman Studios with the boys there. And then Bluebirds came out before Cracks, which I did with Hound and Selassie, 2 producers. They're like mates, and we've known each other for a long time. So I knew I had like the rest of the EP to come out. So the intro track, Scully, was the one I was most excited to kind of put out into the world. It's got a section of an interview from Sean Scully, the painter. And it was an interview that he had in a film called Unstoppable, which is about him and his work. And in this interview, he was asked about his reaction that he had to Awei's reaction to some of his recent works. And he was asked, like, why do you think he said this or felt like that? The thought to Sean Scully, the thought of why did this person say this or why do they think that, would like, he goes on to explain that would never occur to him. And you have to just like trust yourself and believe in yourself if you want to kind of do anything different, or as he puts it, do anything extraordinary. I think that's something that a lot of up and coming creatives need to hear. Like self-doubt is such a creative killer. It's the biggest creative killer, I think. And yeah, I think it was a nice way of opening the EP and then going into 2 minutes or whatever of the Brass Boys just going nuts on a track. Yeah, there's a 7-piece band, the Violet Collective, so we do the shows together, and some shows are like as a 5-piece or a 3-piece, or as much as I can the full 7. But I think I draw inspiration from so many different points, and it's just an excuse to fit it all in, really.
So you're talking about being creative, and there's a lot of imposter syndrome. There's a lot of people really struggling with self-confidence in terms of putting their music and putting their best forward, really. What keeps you kind of grounded and keeps you motivated?
I watch a load of films. I watch a load of like just old films during and before and after I'm writing, and it just makes me feel up for doing something weird, I guess.
If you're struggling and you need an uplifting film, what's the go-to?
Well, I watched Midnight Cowboy the other day. That's one of my favourite films, like, ever. Yeah, that's on Netflix right now. So anyone that's listening and you're struggling for films, watch Midnight Cowboy. There's loads. Just old, strange films.
Is it like current stuff that's being released now is almost a bit too new? It's a bit too easy to immerse yourself in it? Is that what it is? You want something different that's not so obvious to the norm?
Do you know, I've never really thought about it like that. I think you've hit the nail on the head. I don't get how, I don't. There's a load of contemporary music out there at the moment that's coming out regularly, and I love it. I think a lot of my initial ideas come from older things, and then the main job is to then turn it into something that's not old school and turn it into something contemporary. We're
all learning new skills or learning new stuff about ourselves in a way. What have you discovered about yourself?
I've discovered that I have this desk here in the house that I've never used. So I've now got my home studio set up. And what else have I discovered? I can run 3 kilometers. I can write more than one song a week. Yeah. It's pushed me to like just churn out as much as I can.
So how did you first get into music? How did you first get into playing and writing?
I've been writing and performing since I was like early teens. I was in a band for a long time called the Carnabies, and we did loads globally and up and down the UK, and we were given some amazing opportunities to play with and to support some really good people. Like we went on tour with Blondie, and we opened for Bruce Springsteen, and we had some really amazing opportunities. And I think all of that, and especially that live experience, has really kind of helped me mold what I'm doing now and kind of start it with some really kind of clear direction and know what I'm doing.
And what have you got planned for the rest of the year? Have you got some live dates in the diary at the moment, haven't you? Hopefully.
Yeah, we'll have to see how what happens in the next few weeks. But we're playing Bristol, Brighton and London, O'Meara, all in early September.
And obviously you're writing at the minute, but the EP's pretty freshly out there, so you're not going to be dropping anything new for a while.
I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm writing, like I said, I'm writing loads. I don't want to leave it like another year before I put anything out. I think I'd quite like to have something out towards the end of the year.
How important is it to keep that momentum going?
If you put yourself under some time restraint, I think it can be really beneficial. If you you set yourself a date, right, I'm going to have this by then and release it by this point. Yeah, I love and hate releasing music. I love all my songs until I know that people are going to hear them, and then I'm like, this needs to change, that needs to change. But that's all about going back to Sean Scully. I've never considered myself as a perfectionist purely because me and Hound, the producer, we use like a wabi-sabi concept with everything we do. So we tend to go for the first or second take of everything, like whether there's something like not quite right about it, or just because the energy is normally there in that first instance. So I think in that aspect, I wouldn't say I'm a perfectionist, and that I prefer to go for like the raw emotion of something. But then, I definitely overthink and make loads of last minute changes. That's what it is, and just piss everyone off.
How important and how excited are you going to be to actually be back in the studio, being able to record after all this, do you think?
I'm dreaming about it. I'm dreaming about being in the studio with people rather than doing remote sessions and performing. That's what I miss the most, is being on the stage.